When it comes to makeup, not everything needs to be expensive, but there are a few staples that literally will transform midlife skin. I'm talking over 40, over 50. And those, my friends, are worth the splurge. These are the products that make your makeup look better, last longer, and make you feel like yourself, giving you real skin looks without settling in your fine lines and creases. Think of these as investments in your confidence, not as clutter that's just going to gather dust in your makeup bag. Let's get into the products that I think are worth the money. In general, what you're looking for in midlife makeup is formulations that hydrate, that blur, that last without creasing, which is quite a high bar. But the good news is there are so many options available to you out there. For the longest time, Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk was my go-to for when I really wanted to look and feel my best. I didn't wear it on an everyday basis, but I did make sure that if I was going out, or if I knew photographs were going to be taken, that was the one I turned to. I haven't repurchased it recently, and that's purely because there are so many options available right now. And ultimately what I'm looking for is high-tech formulations that give me that skin-like but luminous effect. What you choose to go for is completely personal choice. Like I mentioned before, Armani Luminous Silk Foundation is it's almost like cult now, really. Chanel Le Beige is great if you can find your color match. I can't. Dior Forever Skin Glow is another really good one. I'm currently using the new YSL All Hours Glow Foundation. It's a beautiful color match. It leaves a gorgeous luminous finish to the skin, and best of all, it feels so hydrating and nourishing. It almost feels like you put a really expensive serum on your skin. The reason why it is worth splurging on your base is because cheaper formulas can often, but not always, often end up oxidizing on your skin, which means that they look different once you've worn it for a couple of hours. Even sometimes within 20 minutes, you can see that the foundation is oxidized and it looks different to the color in the bottle, the color on your skin. And also some of the cheaper formulations can emphasize texture, which is something that you really don't want. Other favorites that I would recommend for midlife skin is the House Labs Triclone Foundation. Again, beautiful formulation, really wears well, and they have a great color selection. Don't be fooled by the size. This is the Swede Glass Skin Foundation. Absolutely stunning as well. Somewhere between a skin tint and a foundation, but definitely buildable if you want more coverage. Currently, the three that I would say are worth the splurge. The next area where I'd say it's definitely worth the splurge is your concealer. For obvious reasons, the skin around the eye is the most delicate and the thinnest on the whole face. So you want something that's not going to dehydrate the skin around the eyes, settle into your fine lines and creases, look cakey, drying, look aging. The right texture is so important, and this is where I think that while the drugstore is doing it well, it's definitely worth the splurge if you can afford to. Past favorites have included NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, the NARS Soft Matte Concealer. I've even bought into the hype and I got the Victoria Beckham Concealer, which, while the formulation and the finish and the longevity is exactly what my maturer skin needs, it doesn't really have the coverage. So if you don't need a lot of coverage, I would definitely recommend the Victoria Beckham one. I, however, need more coverage than that. So the Soft Matte Concealer from NARS is still a really good one if you want maximum coverage. Tarte Shape Tape as well. I'm currently using the Dior Forever Skin Concealer because it's a beautiful color match. It's super hydrating under the eyes. You don't need a lot, but you get the coverage. Remembering always that the skin, sorry about the noise, the kitten is going crazy. In fact, the two cats are playing with each other. Where was I? Yeah, the skin around your eyes is super delicate, so you don't want to drag the skin at all I use a bouncing motion with my brush. You could use a beauty blender if you like, just to tap in the concealer. Also, no matter what concealer you're using, whether it's a high street version or a luxury version, if it's a cream, if it's a liquid like this, you always want to put it on the back of your hand, work it into the brush, and then apply. Only where you don't need a huge amount of concealer. It's just aging to wear too much concealer. So just pop it on where you see the darkest areas. If you look down into the mirror like this, you'll be able to see where the shadows hit, and just keep tapping, tap, 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 until it's fully blended. Take the time over this, because concealing properly is a surefire way to making yourself look more awake and more alive, but you need to get your technique right. I do love a good drugstore concealer, but sometimes it can be a little bit too heavy or a little bit too cakey for mature skin. Midlife skin craves dimension, a little hint of color and freshness. So when it comes to your cheeks, your blusher, your bronzer, even maybe your contour, it's worth investing in formulations and products that are going to deliver the color payoff that you want, the longevity that you want, but without sitting on top of the skin and making it look like you're wearing loads of makeup, and just give you that youthful, fresh, I've had loads of sleep kind of look. So you're looking for really finely milled powders or really deliciously creamy cream formulations or liquid formulations that are going to blend beautifully. No one's saying you can't wear glitter or shimmer, but on a day-to-day basis, you just want something that's going to give you that glow and that will just make you look like it's your skin, but better, as if you've come in from a bracing walk and you're just flushed with health and vitality. When it comes to cream formulations, the Westman Atelier Baby Cheeks are just unsurpassed. They're beautiful, they blend well, they last for ages, and the colors are really quite natural but buildable. The Chanel Healthy Glow Bronzing Cream as well, especially now that it comes in more than just one shade, is also a great one to go for. Myself, if I'm going for powders, I always go for the Hourglass palettes. This is one from last year, but they release new ones every year, and you can buy them as singles as well. This one in particular I love because it has bronzer, blusher, highlighter, finishing powder, everything all in one, which means it's infinitely customizable, great for travel, and because the powders are so finely milled, I wear them as eyeshadow too, especially when I'm traveling and I don't want to take a whole host of products with me. A palette like this, which has the kind of shades that I wear as eyeshadows, all in one palette, just makes it just really portable and easy to use, and also means everything just works together. Everything is kind of in harmony. The eyes, the cheeks are all in harmony with each other. Oh, and it also has a full-size mirror, easy to do your makeup on the go. I can even use this as an everyday eyeshadow. This is the bronzer. I'm just putting a little bit into the crease and above. And if I had an eyeshadow brush with me, which I don't, why I think it's worth splurging on a product like this is that you get longer wear, smoother textures. The versatility of something like this in a palette means that you can use it for so many different things and so many different looks. You know, people always talk about the eye area and the neck area as being the first to show the signs of aging. But let's not forget lips. We lose volume, we lose pigment in our lips as we age. You get those fine lines and wrinkles around the lips as you age. So for me, splurging on a lipstick is worth it if it has great pigment, great longevity, hydrating, maybe a little bit volumizing and plumping, packed with all the right ingredients and pigments that just stop feathering. There is nothing like a good lipstick to lift your spirits and lift your face. And there are so many to choose from. If you really want to splurge, there's brands like Tom Ford, Lisa Eldridge. My favorite are Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks. I've been loyal to them for ages. There's one particular shade, which I'll put in the description box below, which I have repurchased now. I think I'm on my 9th one, but I just find that the formulas of the Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks, they last for ages. They're super hydrating. Even the matte ones, her matte lipsticks are my favorite matte lipsticks in the world. Of course, if you really want to splurge, we all know that Louis Vuitton has just released that new collection with Pat McGrath, and I think the lipsticks are $160. I don't even know what that equates to in pounds. Once you find your signature lipstick, it will complete any look. It's using that capsule wardrobe logic for your makeup. Lipsticks define that. Finding the right mascara is also something of a bit of a holy grail, but I do find that with mascaras, you don't need to splurge. The high street, the drugstore does mascaras so well. So I'm actually going to end on a different category that I think is definitely worth the splurge. And that is your makeup brushes, because the application can make or break your makeup look. Even if you buy the most expensive products in the world, if you don't have the right application tools and techniques, it's never going to look luxury and it's never going to look high-end. What makes it worth spending on high quality brushes? There are so many reasons. You get less product waste, you'll get a smoother blend, you'll get a more professional look. It just feels nicer on the skin. They will wash and wear beautifully. So although they are an investment when you buy them, a good quality brush is anywhere upwards of 35, 40, 50 pounds. But once you have that brush, and if you look after it, wash it regularly, dry it in the right way, look after your brushes, they will last you for ages. I've just picked out a couple of brushes from my collection. They're both from Hourglass. They're definitely worth the investment. This is the foundation brush, which I think I have had for 8 years now, but it still wears beautifully. It doesn't leave any hairs like deposited on my face while I'm applying my makeup, which is a real bugbear of mine. And because I love this one so much, I decided after a while to invest in this one, which is the double-ended, don't know what it's called, but it's a big fluffy brush on one side and a pointed fluffy brush on that side. Perfect for powder formulations, bronzers, blushes, all over powdering. Again, I think this one is about 5 years old. I mean, this one needs a good wash, but they last. So definitely worth the spend, worth the splurge if you can afford to do it. So those are the 5 product categories that I think if you can afford to do it, it is worth spending the money. Your foundation, your base, your concealer, your face color products like your blusher, bronzer, your lipstick, and just as important as all of those, your brushes, your application tools. Of course, you could use your fingers, but you'll get a different look. Everything else in your kit could be high street and you'll get a fabulous look. But those are the few staples that I honestly, truly believe are worth investing in. I would love to know, what are your favorite splurges? Let me know in the comments. Add in your favorites, your holy grails, and also let me know what your favorite budget buys are, because we could do another video on those. Share it all in the comments so we can build our ultimate over 40 makeup kit together. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know if you found any new favorites, and I will see you guys in next week's video. Bye.